What if the ladder you are climbing is already chained to someone else's balcony? How long would you keep climbing before you ask who owns the chain? Stay with me, because this story may save you years of reaching for a rung that was never meant for your foot. We drop into the middle of a show that worships effort. Lights burn white, speakers thump, and a crowd chants a neat slogan about earning your place. Backstage, a woman named Ava checks 3 phones at once and swallows cold coffee. She is the operations lead, the person who makes other people look effortless. The star of the show is a man named Damon, a hero of self-help, a priest of grind.
No shortcuts.
He loves that line, and the crowd loves him for it. A crate rolls past Ava with a bright sticker that says VIP acceleration, and the tape lifts like a bad joke. Her phone lights up with a payment notice from a private club with a friendly name. She knows the name because she built the system behind it when she needed rent money to stop shouting. The system offers priority intros, pre-written praise, soft interviews, and polite edits that turn rocks into rose petals. You can call it sponsorship if the lighting is kind. You can also call it a sold shortcut. The ladder shakes, and a new rung appears for those who can pay the fee. That is the first crack in the mirror. Now the show begins to move like a train. A teenage finalist waits near a curtain with both hands on a note card. She is small, bright, and steady, and her story would knock dust off hard hearts. A handler whispers, and her slot is bumped to make room for the son of a man who funds the green room. The son wears a suit that costs more than hope. Ava nods and moves the pieces, because that is her job. She gives the teen a podcast segment as a quick patch, and it feels like rain on a fire. She promises herself she will push it hard. The crowd roars again as Damon walks out in a gentle spotlight.
Hard work pays in public after long hours pay in private.
The line lands clean, and people clap like they are hearing truth. Back in ops, a sheet drops into Ava's inbox with names, prices, and promised outcomes. It reads like a dinner menu, but the meal is reach, image, and time. She has a knot under her ribs that did not exist last year. Here is the next beat, quick and sharp. An ex-staffer posts a vague thread online about a hidden door at the House of Merit. Damon laughs it off on a live stream, and numbers jump as if the rumor is vitamins.
We partner with brands. We do not sell results.
His smile is good television, and his voice is a warm sofa. The crowd leans in, because a clean story is easier to love. Ava meets a young reporter in a quiet corner with bad lighting and honest coffee.
I am not here to burn anyone, I just do not like rigged games.
His name is Jude, and he asks for the human truth, not a scandal diet. He slides a tablet across the table and shows a private clip. In the clip, Damon rejects a pitch from a single mother on camera for being entitled. Off camera, he accepts a weaker pitch from a man who sent a wire to the VIP desk. Ava feels the ground tilt 1 degree and then another. She has lived on ground like this before, and she knows the strain it puts on the ankles of the soul. She goes back to work and moves timelines like chess. She makes small wins for the teen, quick thumbnails with kind eyes, smart tags that find breath. The teen's clip rises for a moment and then slides under a glossy wave from the fund air. You know that feeling when you see the trick, but the rabbit still jumps out of the hat? That is what she feels. Damon calls a meeting with friendly lawyers and a nonprofit that grades fairness.
We will get an audit to prove how clean we are.
The audit rolls in with a smile and a photo of the board hugging Damon. The report glows like a fresh coat of paint in a dim hallway. Ava writes the caption, "Is verified," and the knot gets a name. You can stack words like that, but weight always wins. She meets Jude again, and he asks her one simple thing.
Tell the story you would want told if you were the one left in the cheap seats.
He is not wrong, and that is the hard part. Damon senses heat and decides to pull Ava closer.
I want you as chief of narrative, because you see the whole board.
The title is a ribbon around a cage. The salary is bright, and the stock is sweeter than mercy. Damon tells a story about his father losing a house, and the room shrinks to 2 hearts.
I sell hope because I needed it, and I still do.
He is not a comic book villain, and that is also the hard part. People break rules for reasons they can touch in the dark. Ava thinks of her mother and the long winter when the fridge said maybe. A short text from her mother arrives with pride and emojis that are not here today.
I am proud of you. Doors open for good people in the end.
Pride is warm, and warmth softens the edges on sharp things. She drafts a rollout to rebrand the VIP desk as Partner Tiers. She writes lines about collaboration and shared growth and open paths. For an hour, she almost believes herself. Then the teen sends her a message that cuts clean.
I am quitting because the game feels fixed and I do not want to be the lesson.
Ava stares at the words until they feel like the first time she saw her own paycheck bounce. Here is the rule that no one prints on the badge. Double standards stain every win, and the stain spreads even when you cover it with applause. The big event week arrives like a storm that paid for catering. The finale will be a supposed random Q&A with Damon and the crowd. A secret file lists the questions and the names of the people who will ask them. It is not random, it is polite theater. Ava highlights the word random in yellow and breathes through her teeth. Jude messages her an hour before the finale and says nothing except one line.
When truth shows up late, it still shows up.
A deck leaks on the internet with slides from the VIP program. The leak smells like fresh paint thinner. Damon looks at Ava backstage and asks the thing you would ask.
Did you send it?
She says no, and in that moment, both of them need that answer to be true. The house lights dim, and the chant returns like a trained bird.
We do not take shortcuts.
The line lands, but this time there is a wobble in the cheers. A mic runner is told to follow the plan, but the runner trips in the aisle and hands the mic to the teen, who was pushed to the side. Fate loves clumsy feet.
If the ladder is chained to someone else's balcony, how hard should we keep climbing?
The room goes still as a held breath. Damon has a gift for confession that looks like courage.
We work with partners, and yes, we have tiers, and we are going to show all of it live.
Half the room claps, half hisses, and half does both, which is how crowds work. Ava opens a second stream from Backstage with a quiet title and no music. She puts the contract on the screen and reads it like weather. She points to the clause that buys a guaranteed interview slot. She points to the clause that approves questions in advance. She points to the clause that moves people to the front under a word like partner. She does not yell, because the facts already do that. She says the line that will follow viewers home. Ask for the refund policy of any promise that calls itself pure merit. The chat explodes with shock and relief and also anger that smells like old rain. Sponsors pause to breathe, and editors clip everything to bits. The teen posts one more video from a quiet corner with no lights and no team.
I am not a lesson, I am a person who kept going, and I will show my work without anyone's ladder.
The clip outruns the Air's polished piece by breakfast. Damon writes Ava a short message that blinks like a low battery.
We could have fixed this together.
She writes a reply and deletes it, because some growth does not need witnesses. Here is the come down, and it is gentle and honest. Damon moves to smaller rooms and talks less about purity and more about practice. He still believes in work, because work is not the sin. He has to live with a stain, which is also not the end of a life. Ava makes a new series that maps the structure of shortcuts with plain words. She uses humor that cuts soft and lands clean. She brings people on who have felt the chain on the ladder and people who have taken it off. She does not preach, because preaching makes the ears fold. She tells stories that move like a good bus line, steady and on time. She keeps the motif simple and it returns every few minutes like a helpful bell. If the ladder is chained, unbolt it and say who locked it, then build stairs you would let a stranger use. Now I want you to notice the small things you may have missed. The VIP desk began as a bandage for cash flow, not as a scheme. That is how most trouble starts in clean offices, with a helpful label and a noble story. The audit passed because the board was friendly, and friendship can fog a lens. The crowd loved no shortcuts because the line flatters the buyer. Ava nearly stayed because gratitude is a beautiful chain. Jude did not push for fire, he pushed for air, and air was enough. The teen did not shout, she asked a clear question, and it cut like a key. This is the rhythm that keeps people watching even when it hurts. Tension rises, truth flickers, relief lands, and a new worry takes its place. It is a roller coaster by design, but every drop teaches you what your seatbelt is made of. We go again, because life is a loop until you find the exit that you build yourself. Do you see the pattern? A slogan makes a promise, a system makes an exception, and a person decides who pays the price. The price is often paid by the one with the softest voice and the smallest slot on the schedule. That is where the story aims its light. Let us walk back through the key turns and keep them plain. A secret tier is not fair because it changes the race after the start gun. A clean audit means little when the and rulers eat lunch together. A confession on stage is not justice without a change in how doors open. A good heart can still sign a bad contract, and the reverse is also true. If you work in rooms like this, you can use 3 simple checks. Ask who gets a fast pass, ask who sets the questions, and ask who can say no. If the same person answers all 3, you need to slow your cheer. You deserve a fair line, even if your shoes are cheap. You deserve a real chance that you did not have to buy. You deserve to know when the stage is level and when it tilts like a bar stool on a bad floor. Now we return to the people, because systems are made of hands. Damon did not wake up to lie, he drifted one small step at a time, and he liked the view. Ava did not plan to blow a whistle, she planned to sleep at night. Jude did not want applause, he wanted eye contact with the truth. The teen did not need rescue, she needed a fair mic. That is the core of the mirror we hold up tonight. Success is not dirty, but it hates double standards, and so should we. If you hear the word merit, smile, and then look for the receipts. If you find a chain on the ladder, say it out loud and start unbolting. If someone tells you the chain is decoration, ask them to climb first. Humor helps, and it should, because serious lies love a straight face. Smile, and then count the rungs. You want one more inside moment, and you should have it. After the stream, Ava walks past a bin full of broken lanyards and keeps one as a reminder. She puts it on a hook, at home, next to an old key that does not open anything. She likes objects that ask quiet questions. What door did this belong to, and who had to pretend they were not waiting? She sleeps well that night, not because life is easy, but because the air is honest. Months roll like slow wheels, and the show world adjusts. The VIP desk is renamed with softer words, and some parts are closed, at least in public. The teen runs her own small series and answers messages from kids who do not want to quit. Jude writes a piece that gives no gold stars and no grenades, only facts and a gentle spine. Damon keeps a promise to show numbers, and the numbers are dull in the right way. That is progress you can live with. The lesson does not need a sermon, it needs a sentence you can carry in your pocket. If the ladder is chained, build stairs you would let a stranger use. Keep your pride, but keep your door open. Work hard and watch even harder. Do not be cruel to your own hope, but do not let it make you blind. Let me return to the opening question and close the circle with you. What if the ladder you chase is locked to a balcony you cannot reach? You do not need to climb forever. You can step back, name the lock, and start building something honest on the ground. You can invite others to test each step, and you can sleep. That is not a scandal, that is a plan. You will like how your chest feels when air can move. You will like how your voice sounds when it does not have to sell a lie. And now, a small gift to your future self. When you hear a perfect slogan, ask which door it opens and who owns the key. When you see a star confess on camera, ask what changes when the lens is off. When you are offered a secret tier, ask why fairness needs a password. If the answers make your stomach speak, listen to it, because bodies know math. Your time is worth more than the price of admission to someone else's victory lap. Your patience is not their product. Your story is not their brand. I promised you a clear question that you would carry home, and I kept that promise. The ladder is still there, and so are your hands. Use them well, and be kind when you can, and be loud when you must. Before we close, I want to give you one last scene in plain lines. The teen stands on a small stage in a community hall, with bad paint and good chairs. A few dozen people clap because they like the way her voice does not tremble anymore. She tells a simple story about building a fair line at a farmer's market. It is not viral, it is valuable. She smiles, and the room smiles back, and no one asks for a tear. That is how change starts, with no spotlight and no promise of reach. It spreads anyway, like a rumor about kindness. If you want a closing humor beat, here it is. The teleprompter at the next big show freezes on 3 letters again, and a stagehand laughs.
It is stuck on Myrrh, which is close enough for now.
Close enough is not good enough, and that is why we keep talking. We do it with simple words, because simple words go where people live. We do it with a calm voice, because panic buys anything. We do it with a little sting, because sugar alone makes you sleepy. You came for gossip, and I gave you a mirror with a soft light. You wanted thorns, and I mixed in a little gold you can actually spend. Thank you for staying with me to the very end. If this hit home, please tap like, hit subscribe, and drop a comment with the part that stuck. If you want to help this channel grow, you can donate using the QR code at the bottom right or the link in the description. In the description, you will also find links to other series that are completely different, and you might like them too. Take care until next time, and come back for the next story, because I saved you a seat.